So take me through the process just so I can get my head around. Pete, do you do a lot of the work orders and lodge them and post them?
As in,
I don't know. Jared was saying something. What'd you do yesterday morning?
oh yeah, on Monday morning I post.
On Monday.
Yeah, do it every Monday.
Oh, you do it every Monday.
Yeah, post for that.
When you
week.
say post, you're just completing work orders that happened the previous week?
No, the supervisors closed all the work orders out, but in Prodo we go through and we post like the total.
Yeah.
The work that's gone out that week.
It's pretty much the cost gets pushed through. So any time confirmation gets pushed through to finance. So it actually gets attached.
Yeah, they hit cost codes.
Yeah.
So
the thing that is a part of the reporting issue is when you post that transaction date hits the transaction, but if you go into work orders and you go work orders completed on a certain day, then that cost is in there on the work orders, but when you go on the transaction date, it might be every week they get hit. So, which is something that come up recently. But when you look at the project, that cost could be different to if you just grab a month's worth of work orders and total the cost. And that's what we've got to work through, which way we should report.
We already identified that, didn't we, Jay? We were trying to reconcile some of the work orders to the costs that were in Pronto. Nothing was adding up.
Yeah. I can go through and explain what I'm talking about quite easily. It can be. The problem is if we report on a monthly, as it is this month, I think the post was on the 2nd, was it?
Yeah.
So the 2nd, and then you got the 5 days before the end of the month. So all that end of month stuff goes straight into this month if you go through the projects.
Right.
So we just got to remember that when you're reporting, that's all.
Well, yeah, even that project to date number, what would be an example? I'll pull one up. Even the first one, 50,000. Yeah. So even like if you sum up the first 4 months and you look at the project today, 50,000 versus 49,250. This was off even more. So September, 3 months, summed up 37. And we got 44 to project today as at September.
So where are you getting these numbers from, the project?
Jay, can you just pull it up for us? Where we got all these numbers?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks for that. While we're talking.
Yeah.
Share my screen.
Yeah, we'll show you.
Yeah, and they are basically from project. So if you look at this summary and month, each month in total.
Yeah. So what you'll find is that November, a lot of that will probably still be October through the work orders. Yeah, where it's posted. It was posted in November, so it's hit November. So if you go project transactions, the next line down on that, or
it's up now.
So which one? Okay, project transactions.
Yeah, just go down, just scroll down to down the bottom, the next line.
Okay.
I see the transaction in the grey below.
Yep.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. No.
They need to be in the screen.
Yeah, go back into the project. Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, go back into that. Yeah, project maintenance.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So see the transaction in the top line.
What project did you have?
26,
that's next year's.
PM tasks.
Yeah, no, that's right. It just doesn't look like anything hits. Just go to another project. Just arrow up.
Go back to your front screen. Don't you have to put that and see what you've got?
Yeah, just keep arrowing up to say the 11.
Yeah, you're in OPEX 26 though, not 25.
Yeah, no, that's right. We're in 26. Stop. No, yeah, you hit transaction now.
Okay.
No, you don't even have access to transactions.
Mm.
I'll just quickly share so we just.
And you go over to project to go using budget and click current. No, where's the screen you're in? Go back to project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Project management.
Project management. Maintenance. Yeah.
Yep, so down the bottom right hand corner of your screen there,
Mm-hmm.
go current, go up and go.
Hit the dot. See where it's got a round circle in front of current? No, in that bottom.
The tick box.
Yeah.
Tick box.
That in current right.
Yeah. It still should show transactions. So if it's, I don't think he's got access to transactions.
It's showing nothing invoiced though either.
Yeah. I'll just show my screen quickly so we can.
Yep.
Leave Pronto. Can you? Are you still in it or? Oh, sorry, just trying to find Pronto. Where's Pronto gone there?
This goes in.
Okay, rightio.
Goes from 25 to 26.
Yeah, so this project there, hit transactions, it will come up to everything that's been posted. And what I'm going to open up. But anyway,
Go back to a 25 one, you'll show it.
we're in 26, so
I know, but you got nothing there to show it. Here we go. Sure.
there's something not working. My all frozen.
Yeah, Andy, mine's working. Let me share mine.
Yeah, it was just going to be easier if I can just go and. Can you see that now?
Okay.
Rightio. So, see these dates here? That's when it gets posted. So there's the 2nd, the 10th, the 17th. So it's pretty much every week that the costs are posted to the job. So that's a weekly thing. So if you go down to the bottom, and for some reason we're trying to work out why 30th of November is in there. But yes, well, while we're there, all those pretty much have a plus and minus that someone's put it all on and then taken it all off for some reason. I got no idea. But going back to here, see the 27th was the last time it was posted in October, and then pretty much the 3rd. So, and these were done individually, but because they're materials, they get posted every time someone does a good issue to a work order for materials. But the work, it goes from the 27th. So 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31 is 4 days that would have been posted before this hit there. So all the costs from that time to that time all go into November the 3rd. And the only way we can get around that is posting daily or posting every time we do a time confirmation or...
What if you, in this situation, Andy, if we had it posted on the
end of the month,
last day of October,
yeah,
and then at the end of the week again, because the week was split over two months in that it started in October and it's finished in November.
Yeah.
If we could have posted on the last day of October and then and then the Monday of November it would have separated those costs.
Yeah, pretty much. As long it's the same as what we do at the end of the financial year when we were trying to do that. But the thing is, if there's costs that have been closed out prior to the end of the month, it will still jump over. So you've got to make sure everything's completed by the end of the month, and then do the posting.
Yeah. Or
we just post as we do the time confirmation, which is another change to the process. But anyway, that's what the issue is. But if you go into the work orders, every work order that's been changed within that week will be against the date that it got completed. Anyway, I'll get out now. That's what we're dealing with there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So when's the best time to have this meeting?
we should be falling now, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
No, sorry. I mean, not this month, but going forward. So November, for example, finishes on a Sunday. That means if we post on the 24th, that whole week will go into December. Yeah, from the 25th to the 30th.
If we post on the 1st,
Yeah.
it will, unless we post on the 30th or 20th, the last day, whatever day it is.
Is that a problem?
Depends on the person posting it.
Yeah,
All right.
Is it a problem just to be that week out? Like, I get where you're coming from. Like, the it's not going to match the budgets exactly, but
I don't think so, Scott. The main, like Andy just said, the main issue it causes us is not to change over the financial year.
yeah,
The 25 numbers then carried over into 26, which is something we've got now. And then you've got time confirmations in both months, and it's hard you can't split one work order.
yeah.
That's why we have to incur some costs this year that are actually from last year.
Yeah. So if the last post for the month is going to be on the 24th, do we meet the last week of the month instead of the first week of the next month?
I think we need to do it at the start of each month rather than the end of the month, because we still haven't got to all the costs. So
Yeah, I know, but you still won't have the costs. They'll go into the next month.
yeah,
So right
there might be still 4 or 5 days that haven't hit the month that you're actually still in.
We're splitting hairs at the moment by breaking it down by days. Right? If you look at November's, if we end up posting October stuff on the 1st of November, and you do have that 4 or 5 days carryover, we've got 4 or 5 days September stuff in October for the previous month. So is it gonna matter if it's splitting hairs?
Probably not. All right, keep going. So then we'll just go then the first Monday of every month it'll get posted. And then we meet on the first Tuesday of every month. Does that sound right?
Is that right, Fish?
Sorry,
It'll be-
another question got thrown to me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it'll be my planner or whoever's doing the planning role to answer that question, which I haven't got. So Pete and Dave.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So I'll just put a recurring in. So what time of day works best for everybody? Morning on Tuesdays?
Earlier the better.
Yeah,
better.
I reckon.
Yeah. 9 o'clock on Tuesdays?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll do that. All right, we'll crack into it. So you'll notice we overhauled the spreadsheet. And this is really for everybody. So if there's something that you guys would help anyone, just ask and we can modify it. So if it's working, let us know what's working. And if it's not working, let us know what's not working, and we'll have you to modify it. So just briefly on the spreadsheet, the way it works is the The orange is where we enter data, the two orange spreadsheets. The budget you only have to update once a year. The actuals, we did, Ajay, Trish and I did this yesterday from those fields that we showed you, or Ajay showed you. The green spreadsheets do a couple calculations, and then the blue ones are the reports. So we've got two reports, the monthly report, which shows every project, the budget, actuals, and variance, both the month and the year to date. And then the project, especially the project report, if you want to speak to that or look at that. So the month of October, budgeted 765 and spent 601. So it was a bit down. And looking at that, restricted flow, access, the two that were underspent, power supply, quite a lot underspent, leaks, overspend, and then just everything else is a bit close. So do we want to just go every project? Do we need to look at every one? Or just go by exception?
Yeah, I'd go by exception. Unless there's something that you need to add to that, I'd just, as long as we're happy that we're going to hit the target.
All right, so if it's close, we'll just go with it. Comms is pretty small budget, although year to date, we're only at 62%. So, Fish?
Yeah, we're doing a couple of things at the moment to try and, not necessarily raise that budget. We're trying to do a bit of concentration stuff to try and spend that money. But what we're finding is a couple of little fixes we've come up with of actually lowering our costs, if you know what I mean, which is a good thing. But we're saving some parts rather than having to replace parts at the moment by a couple of fixes we've introduced in the last couple of months. So,
Yeah. I suppose that comes to the other question. Have we ever done budget adjustments? Like mid-year budget adjustments?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did shift a bit around last, but the total was the same.
Yeah.
Well, pretty much, except for when we found additional funds. But
So do we need to adjust this budget down, Fish? Are we good?
adjust it down.
I don't know.
I'd be adjusting it up. But
We're underspent. We're underspent, but we're only
Yeah,
at 62% of the budget. So if we're at the end of the year and we're still at 62%, that's a problem. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, I
no, aren't we
I
actually
wouldn't have
year-to-date
thought-
49 with budget's 80, so we're actually overspent.
no, we haven't.
Budget's
Okay,
80
that's-
and actual spend is 49. So we're
But
overspent by
that's-
30 grand.
We are under on that. I wouldn't be cutting it at the moment. I said we're doing some bit of trial software work at the moment. So if everything goes to plan, we won't spend the money. But if everything doesn't go to plan, then we'll be replacing quite a few RTUs very shortly.
Yeah.
The other thing, this is not my area, but don't you do a lot of comms work in winter?
It varies, John. It's all over the place. No, it's just me.
Sorry, I'm a little bit lost because the budget's 80, we've spent 50, we've got 30 left, but we've spent 62, which means that we're over our average budget.
No, that's budget year to date.
Year to date.
Yeah, year to date, 50 grand we've spent out of a budget of 80. It means we're over 50%. We're not even halfway through the season.
No, the total budget's 240 for the year.
So that's a budget for the month, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Year to date.
It must be. I'm not used to your report. That's all. So budget, no, that's year-to-date budget. Oh, okay, sorry, monthly budget.
Monthly budget. So the total.
So where's the total budget? So that's not on that sheet.
Well, now, but we can add it. So this is what I'm saying. If you need to see it, what number is that? 6?
6.
So the total budget,
It's 240.
240.
Okay, rightio. So that makes a bit more sense.
So there you go. Red line is the total budget. Black line's the budget.
Okay,
Whereas
rightio.
spent, so we're down.
That's 15.
Yeah, no, that makes more sense. I was just, yeah.
No, I wouldn't be changing it at this stage anyway, Scott.
So do we do
We're also spending a bit of time doing other work at the moment, concentrating on the Starlinks and stuff like that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So,
Well, maybe we'll just stick in this one and just go down.
yeah.
Reference. What's reference? Is that right?
Anything to do with
Yeah.
gate position or gate measuring.
Oh, right. That type of reference. Yeah, good. So again, so year to date, 208, spent 146, underspent by 62.
So with all the, for our side, because we've got less water, there's less urgency, there's probably less focus on that reactive side. So this is where we need to probably use the condition monitoring tool and get those work orders in there and start getting through them.
Yeah, as I said before, Andy, we've started using that probably a little bit more in the last month.
Yeah.
Make sure we're generating stuff. Well, as we've said before, Scott, reference is one of those things that potentially we don't know what we don't know. Because the things we're not moving much water. I mean, if you look at today, as we were talking about this morning, if you look at today, there's 900 meg on at the offtake and 6 of that's going out one outlet. You know what I mean? So there's not a lot of customer water moving. So
Yeah, and because most of that, our mechanical work gets driven out of the control team, we've got to find that another mechanism, which is that condition monitoring tool, which we'll start using a bit more of, and that'll start driving a bit more work. That's all.
All right. Power supply in year to date, 258 budget, 259, spent 199, underspent by 60.
yeah,
Same issue.
it's the same issue. We're a condition monitoring tool. I went through and spent a bit of time on that last week, looking at batteries and stuff like that, and started to generate a few jobs out of that. Things I'm noticing. So
But, don't have a percentage on this one. Maybe I should. Mechanical. Budget 175, 44 underspent.
Yep. It'd be exactly the same, Scott. It'd be just a matter of understanding where not knowing what we don't know. And with that one, I'm looking at as I spoke to Andy an hour ago, looking at the condition monitoring tool on that one, it's flagging a lot of the nuisance alarms at the moment. So we need to tidy that up a bit to work out what's real and what's not real.
Yeah. Restricted flow. Overspent by 30 grand. Pretty close though, about $1 million.
Overspent.
Yeah.
Really? Dude, We've got a budget of 100.
So the year-to-date budget is, so this one is not linear. We've got bigger budgets in November and December
Yeah,
than the first 4 months.
yeah.
But right now we're at 1.17 million.
All up. Yeah, gotcha. Sorry, I'm just going on this month because I've got us.
This month. This month.
I've got us under at 44. Yeah, 44 and a half.
Yeah, this month. Yeah, 140 and spent 93. So you're on this month.
No,
So we went from 100 overspent to 30 overspent.
Yeah.
So we're trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
Although it looks like we had more activity planned for the next 2 months.
Yeah, well, that's generally been the way it's gone, but just I suppose with how it depends on what water's running, I suppose. But yeah, we're going along the right. We're actually focusing on drains a little bit at the minute, so hence why that's been pulled back a little bit.
Access is spot on, I'd say. So we spent for this month. Well, I budgeted 150 and spent 108.
Yeah.
But we're right on, pretty close to target.
Yeah. Well, that's
leaks. Spend a bit more on leaks.
Yeah, well, they've been a bloody headache at the minute, mate. We've been leaks everywhere. Yeah. I don't know. I suppose. Now that we're running the system at where it is, we're finding a bit more, I suppose.
No worries. Fencing.
Fencing. I've got us under at 4.5. But what do you got us at there?
Yeah, I need to add a variance, monthly variance. That's right.
Yeah.
Like
generally this time generally this time we kind of quieten down and then ramp back up before, like in your March area. So February, March, but no, that's all right. That'll continue on. We'll that'll even itself out by the end.
Structures.
Yeah, that's the same. I've got that. But over 2.5. Oh, there are we?
We are
pretty well bang on for the year, but
yeah.
I'll spend that money by the end of the year. Don't worry.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to answer
spot
that?
On drains.
You go, Pete.
No, drains. Yeah, we're doing a bit of drain work now, so it we're going along pretty well there.
Yeah, you're
happy with why that is.
We're spot on. Could be closer, really. Heavy plant. Oh, I didn't invite Joe. Sorry, John. I should have.
She's not in today.
Yeah, I'll jump in that one. So, no, that's tracking pretty good, mate. I'm pretty happy with that.
Light vehicles. No concerns there.
I would imagine we'll see a rise in light vehicles coming shortly. We're not far out from the roadworthy stuff, so we'll start incurring costs shortly with tyres and things.
EM tasks.
Yeah, that seemed to settle down a bit last month. we seem to be back on some sort of track for the month anyway, for that month.
Yeah. Still a bit overspent.
Yeah, overspent through September was pretty high. I think we worked out there's a lot of maintenance, a lot of vehicle or plant. It's 30 grand's worth of plant, tyres and bits and pieces that hit the vehicles, the PM tasks.
So going forward, Scott, we've split that off now. So, as I just said before, all servicing will go to these PM tasks. But if we put a car in for tyres or we need to repair an excavator or something, that'll actually hit the heavy and light projects.
Yep.
So you should see this PM one through that alone. This PM one should drop down a bit, and our
it should
light
settle
heavy
down.
vehicle one should increase a bit.
For next year, is it worth separating out? Oh, do we keep it all in the one project, or having separate projects?
I think going forward, we need to separate PM tasks out into the separate projects.
Yeah. So which projects? How many?
Oh, well, if we've got a PM task for comms, then it should hit the comms project rather than the separate.
Oh, so we don't need this project.
Well, it'd just make more sense. It'd hit where it's meant to hit to the right budget. But again, it's up to you, to be honest, where you want to separate it.
Well, it's whatever makes it easier to manage, but I think at the moment there's kind of a catch-all for everything, and you don't really know what you're looking at. So I agree with you, Andy.
Yeah, you just have to work that out pretty closely to where you want to put that, because PM tasks cover channel inspections, outlets, regulator maintenance, first aid kits, fire extinguishers, vehicle maintenance, all that stuff falls under that 21 code. So if you're going to separate it, which is fine, we're just going to have to break it down and work out where you want to put those costs to go to.
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll think about that on budget time.
Yeah. That'll play with your melon a bit.
Yeah, I know. It's devil's in the detail. Always is. Facilities. Underspent.
Yep, so facilities has been pretty quiet lately, actually, but we are about to start doing some spider spraying and some other tasks. So.
Admin. What's that? What's admin costs?
Is that training?
No,
Training.
training comes under training's under 29.
It catches
So
all the
admin,
miscellaneous.
Just trying to blank. Yeah, is it? Don't know what's the stuff.
I think it catches uniforms, bloody, all that stuff that just doesn't fit anywhere else.
Yeah.
Does tools hit it, or do we put it against?
It used to, now it's against the vehicles.
Okay.
But it's consumable, so I'm just going in there to look, reopening pronto to a bit more detail.
It's often
The consumables are going there now.
What sort of consumables?
Bolts, nuts, screws,
Oh, yeah.
silly shit like that.
Operational work. It's pretty spot on. What's that?
Yeah.
What's operational
That's
work?
meter readings. Anything
the business requires
manual operation.
the techs to do. It's not the role of the specific role of the field tech. So if they have to go and look at a channel height or do a meter reading or do compliance work, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, one-off stuff.
Quality rectification.
Yeah. Well,
one there. There is no budget per se for that.
Budget for that, yeah.
But we've had we had a damaged mag flow meter while we're completing other works last month, and a bit of that cost will probably hit this month. So we had to replace a mag flow meter. So it was about $7,000. Well,
Yeah, plus your commissioning.
yeah,
So that was set up to come out of instance, isn't it?
yeah, to come out of it
When we have a quality
incident.
Yep. So what they'll do at the end of the year, they'll just come out of the buckets because they've still got to hit it.
That's
a
terrible.
cost, but that's just to capture what our quality costs are.
No worries. 23.
Sorry, Dave, had to mute you because that was coming through twice.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, good on you, Fish.
It's like that echo was killing me.
Yeah. What's this one?
Decommissions.
Yeah, decon. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. So the budget's at the end of the year with no works. Makes sense. And yeah, here's the training meetings, which there's no budget against that one.
The last month's spent on that was first aid training, power line training that everyone went through.
Yeah.
That's what the costs were for last month. 29 grand.
Oh, yeah. And total tracking very well. Lots of over and unders, but cancel each other out. That's it.
Very good. I think that looks good, that report, Scott. I like that one with the graph.
Yeah, that one is probably the best one to use.
Overall, we're killing it.
Yeah, overall, definitely are killing it.
So, Scott, when will you update this?
I can update it as soon as it's posted.
Yep.
Or more often if it helps.
But don't update it as soon as it's posted because usually whoever's Pete, the last few months, Pete and I have been going through trying to fix all the, can I say, cock-ups that come through during the week.
Well,
so
you
it's
tell
more
me.
accurate.
When would it benefit to have it updated?
Probably what I was getting at, Scott, it'd be good if, say, especially Pete and Fish, so they're the budget owners, could have a look through this one here, exactly what we're going to look at prior to the meeting, and then they could talk to it. They could have a look at the graphs, they could have a look at the actuals for the month, and
Yeah, happy to do that.
just to help them prepare rather than them guys trawling through Prono looking for numbers. And so if they could have access to this for a day or so before the meeting to go through and prepare themselves,
So maybe Wednesday's meeting's better then? If we... Well, when can this be updated? From
then as the posting's done after the end of the month, can't it?
Well, it can be done weekly after the posting's done. So Pete can add you to the email list and you'll just get the posting being done and you can update it after that if you want.
That would be good, and we could watch it live through the month then as well.
Yeah, you keep track of it. Jared sent me an email yesterday to add Scott and the others in on it, so I'll do that.
Yeah, okay. So that'll be Pete and Fish and Joe. Is that right? Yeah. I might meet with each one of you then and see what we can do to make it work for you. Because this is really, if you're managing the budgets, it's really for you.
Yeah.
Hey, Jared.
Well, so I was just listening in. So is there an option there to Scott to use this now to go to, and I think Eddie's done a fair bit of work with Shirin to show Shirin what you've done here and then get it dragging out every Monday afternoon or something, so then nobody's manually dragging out. I don't think it's that big a deal, Andy, to get that to work.
No, it should be fine.
Yeah, I'm happy to speak to you.
If it automatically drags out, will that mean it'll, if we make adjustments to it because we pick anomalies, will it automatically adjust itself after that?
Yeah, it'll just go whatever the following week when it drags the data out, it'll drag the new data in. Yep.
Yeah, it should.
All right. Well, we can definitely speak to Sharon about that for sure.
Otherwise, you can just do what you did to pull this together, add the new data in, and it's done.
We may have had a chuckle about all the technology we have at our disposal when we're manually moving numbers across.
Mm-hmm.
But you do what you got to do.
Exactly right.
And yeah, like even if it's we do this while we still have Pronto, or maybe there's a BI fix, Power BI fix.
Well, I think the key is, though, if we can get this, this is an answer to one of Ayanda's questions. Like, this is the type of reporting, if everybody's saying this is useful, this is for Ayanda to say, this is the type of thing we need to have, or this type of process and output is what we need to come out of the new system. So we still need to have, we need to work out what we want and then get it in the new system, because obviously what we've been doing is not what we want. So.
Still very keen to understand their side of it as well, and why I haven't talked to you yet.
I haven't heard back from them yet either, so we'll see what happens.
No, I mean, like I said before, I'd be keen to try to reconcile, or I'd be keen to reconcile FY 2025, the projects against the GLs.
Yep.
So we can figure out what the hell's going on.
Yep, I agree.
Because if we don't know what's going on, we'll never get in the match.
From my, I'm not a finance guy, but to me, the cost centers, we should break things down to cost centers that make sense. Then it goes into a GL that makes sense, like into the next. So that would be the standard report. So when you dump out the report, you can do it from whatever level you need to drill down into the things. So at the moment, all those things seem to be set by finance. Maybe we need to understand what we actually need to set as far as our buckets. So we set our small buckets that feed into our bigger buckets. That way you can report on it quite simply. That's all. That's my 2 piece.
Yeah, I think you're right, Andy. If we don't, so are you talking about the projects and then breaking that down further?
Well, we've made projects, but we've got GLs and cost centers, and then we've got projects. So for me, our cost centers may be that bottom bucket, but it might be also the next level as and they just link to where we want the costs and we want to report on the costs.
Don't do that.
So
No.
at the moment, we've made projects to fit in with what we've got. I think we should flip it the other way.
Well, we can do
national account stuff that we're talking about, John. I think that's where the answer lies. Not 100% sure what flexibility
if we know what we want, we can make it happen. Right? So, but the problem is, not that it's a problem, it's all about perspective. So accounting wants to know how much have we spent on labor, how much have we spent on fuel, how much have we spent on what did I say the first one? Did I say labor? Whatever. So those are the type of things that they're gonna. What we want to look is where are those costs going? So it's a common. Well, it's not common. There's no way around it. The way you manage it versus the way you report it, high level, it's two different perspectives. So that there's nothing wrong with that either. But they need to be matched. So when you add them both up both ways, they need to come to the same number.
So if they want to know what the total field bill is for the month, that's fine. They can have at that level. If we need to work out where that fuel gets broken down to, whether it's heavy plant, light vehicles, whatever, then that would be your next level. And that's
Yeah, so that's aggregating it up. But if we want to know where we spent on what assets we you know, what activities we use that fuel for.
Yeah,
that's
where
another
perspective. Yeah, that'd be your cost through the work orders as your time confirming and things like that. What we just need to understand is what do we need to break it down to? What sort of buckets we need to work with to be able to keep improving and to review. And then they fit into the bigger buckets that finance want to report on, but we need to just understand what we need out of it.
Yeah. I think that's the key. If we can explain and articulate what we need, I'm pretty confident we can make it happen. So I'll be more than saying pretty confident. I will ensure that it happens if we can articulate what we want, right? So many of these things come down to we can't explain, or not even we. One can't explain what one wants. So if we're in a position that we know exactly what we want, we'll get it. So right now we're using the projects. So is that the level of granularity that we need, or do we need it broken down further?
It's probably the question. Like if we need to go on, like we've got an increasing cost in an area and we want to then do some work analysis to say, okay, where's it coming from? Then we need to understand where that is. But if it's a big bucket, and it's hard to do. If we've got layers underneath that, it's a bit easier to target where these costs are coming from. But again, we need to understand what we want out of it from this side of the business.
So the project codes are working. Is that a fair statement? They're working.
Yeah.
So what are we after? So forget about the accounting side of things. So if you just look at when I say the accounting side, so forget about the GLs and the cost centers for the moment. So what's missing from the project code approach? What would help us manage our costs better?
I don't know if there's too many, and correct me if I'm wrong, the guys who are using it, but I think at this level it's okay. And as you can see, we're on budget, and we have since we've been doing it, so we're pretty tight on our budgets and that sort of stuff, keeping a relatively very good track of it. For me, at my level, it's definitely the fact that this only covers half of the budget, and then it doesn't tie back into the other half. That's where the issue is from my side. The granularity, the guys
are you talking about the overheads or what?
Yeah, that overhead side of things that makes up the other side.
Yeah.
Because we don't treat it the same. So if you treated the whole thing the same and everything sat in an OPEX budget, maybe you wouldn't have the problem. But because we only treat half of and it's not even half of the budget, maybe it is half the budget, but whatever the percentage of the budget is, doesn't all come across into this side of things. So this is just a mechanism that we're using to be able to understand when the costs hit the assets. So this is only for costs that hit assets. Anything else sits on the other side.
So that's labor?
Yep. So labour, anything that's time confirmed, all materials that are all booked to work orders, anything that goes to work orders. So work order goes to an asset. Anything that hits a work order goes in here.
So what's not? What doesn't go on the work orders?
Electricity bills. So I don't. To me, we have purchase orders, which obviously, like everything has the purchase order to get paid. We just need to pick up those costs as well as work orders and make sure where we're doubling up on the two things is what we need to understand. But we could report on purchase orders against buckets for better, but yeah. And that's what we're not doing. We're not reporting on those where those purchase orders hit in buckets.
Yeah,
When you talk about power bills, the power bills go to the sites, they just come out of the one bucket.
They do.
They go out of the one bucket. So the office and the sites and all that and the nodes and whatever's got mains power connected, did that just come out of one bucket, or is it broken down individually?
Yeah, it's just a natural account for it. So it's just a bucket.
Yeah.
But there's a whole heap of overhead things. So it's not just so wages are a funny one actually, because it's only what we time confirm at our charge out rate that goes to the work orders. It's not actually got anything to do with wages at all. So wages, on costs, overtime, all those things, none of that goes to this.
Yeah.
What we've calculated to be the charge out cost times the amount by the amount of hours that we spend on the job, that's what goes into here. So you've got consultants, the other things.
No management costs.
There's no management costs. There's no pretty much general overheads is what I'll call it without going through. But there's about 15 line items is the answer. So it's not just a few things. It's of the $15 million full year budget, they add up to, and it's a bit, the numbers are a little bit convoluted because of the way there's recoveries and stuff in there. But $3.5 million worth of things. Well, plus your wages. So you got it's 9.5 including all of the wages, but so and then we spend 10 on the other side. But funnily enough, our budget's only 15, so it's a bit funny how it all works.
I'll start. I need to understand it.
I can go through. I'm just looking at the P&L is what I'm looking at there to pull that.
Yeah.
But it's saved in the file. But yeah, we need to go through that as well. But it's a good question to see what the users need, because so there's other mechanisms we've put in place to help with that granularity that we were talking about before, like naming conventions and things like that. I think there's a fair bit of work to be done in that space because we've just got and it's again what we could afford, or the timing we had to develop it, which has been my time as well, mainly. So it's quite agriculture at the moment, but it's probably just enough to be able to do some basic analysis. But yeah, I'd say there's plenty of work to be done, and Andy,
there's no point capturing it too granular for the sake of capturing it.
No.
If it helps us, let's do it. But if it's not going to help us, waste time.
And I think it'll all be driven a fair bit more by where we get to this more, as I've called, just that project approach, like those packages of works. We'll be able to understand it a fair bit more in that space when we have a bit more, we're a bit more proactive in the works that are going in, as opposed to the reactive nature of the work coming in. So at the moment, I know definitely in Fisher's space there's a lot of guessing on. We think this might be a mechanical one, so you go out there and it starts off mechanical, but it could end up being anything else type of thing. And now do our fault codes and stuff like that. We have different mechanisms, but they don't all add up at different times and that sort of stuff. So there's a bit of work in that we're not going to be able to answer right now, but we need to go through that granularity side, because you're right, we're probably a bit agriculture in some levels, which is the stuff that I implemented, but then we've got some really detailed stuff through your fault codes and that sort of stuff as well, which we're not using because it's not, for many reasons, but we're not using it wholly and solely, but we also don't have the staff here to do it either, so.
Yeah, it should just come down, what information do we need to manage assets? So is it high level? Is it, granular? And
that's it. I agree. That's all data. What
all
business decisions do we need to make, and what information do we need to make those decisions?
Yep. And we don't make it any more complex than what it needs to be.
Yeah, agreed.
So some work to do there, and we can go through that with you, Scott.
Good. So I'm going to meet with Fish, Pete, and Joe, and we'll tidy this up, and then we'll meet with what's her name, Shireen with Power BI and see what we can do to get it more live.
So that other report that I sent you through, the OPEX one, it works off work orders. So that's why those costs won't match this cost because of that issue we spoke about at the start. So that was more just to manage work orders rather than report on, well, it was to do both, but yeah. Anyway, whether you use that one or not, I won't.
Yeah,
manage
well,
it
I'm
anyway.
happy to go back and look at, because really the work order should match this one too, if you do it, except for that gap.
It's that posting issue. Oh, we're talking about the posting issue. Jared was basically.
Who does the posting? Is that an accounting task?
No, Pete does the posting. But
What is
what we're talking about is like there's costs now that hit November because we posted in the 2nd of November, but a lot of the costs were in October. But
work was completed in October, but there were costs hit November's budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's only because of the posting, because we post weekly. It's the same issue we have at the end of the financial year that we tried to deal with this year. So whether that's an issue or whether we need to post more often, that's something you'll have to work out whether it's important or not.
Yeah, it's one thing in Winterworks we were doing is posting every couple of days because we had such a huge turnover of finance that we had to keep track of. So yeah, we were posting every couple of days during Winterworks, and that made the job a hell of a lot easier to keep a more of a live track of what was happening.
The interesting thing is, though, we goods issue materials to a work order, yet we don't post the labour until the next week. So we allow people to post materials. We just don't do it to the labour. Anyway, that's something that you guys can.
What is
posting to the GL is what it is.
Yeah. It's the time confirmation doesn't get posted until we do it weekly. And
there's a manual process to post to the GL.
Yeah, okay.
So we have to.
And are those numbers that we're looking at? Is that reading from the GL? Is it?
Yeah, it's from the GL. It's what's hit the transactions post.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Again, don't have any finance people in the room, but I'm pretty sure that's gone through.
When we do the timesheets to the work order, it just sits there until we post. Whereas with the materials, we actually do the posting as we enter the material to work order.
So the posting is one of the planners looking at the work order, making sure everything's right, and saying, yeah, okay, send the costs across to the GL.
No, we just do it weekly. We just run the report, post it, and whatever. We don't even
so you don't look at it. You don't need to look at the work order. You just run the report and then, All right.
Yep.
Thanks for the education. All right. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your time.
The question will be, though, just with workforce, how that will work, because it may be that it gets posted as you close or do time confirmation when you finish the job. So it may fix itself, but we'll need to understand that.
Yeah, I can't say I'm familiar with that step. I kind of feel like, not that I did the task, but I've never come across this before. So I think when you close out a work order, it must have automatically posted in the systems I've worked before. So, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I've never, like I said, it was never an issue, so I never dug into the detail of what was happening.
Yeah, but that's when I went back to the finance team. That's why I said weekly, was because at the moment, and we could, as Dave said, we can do it whenever we like, but it's a manual process. So we just do it Mondays. So the reason we do it Mondays is because it matches in with the schedule. So schedule closes on a Sunday, gives the supervisors the morning to tidy that stuff up, whatever they're going to do, get all their time confirmations in. Planners pick it up Monday lunchtime roughly, post it by Monday. As soon as it's posted, then everyone's right to do their work on it again.
Yeah, we'll learn a bit more and improve it a bit too.
Well, that looks good. That graph and that looks good.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Do we want to grab John, Jared, and Scott for 5 minutes?
Yep.
I'll jump into this other control system meeting.
Yep, if you could, yeah.
I'll see you. Talk to you soon.
Dunzo.